Magic the Gathering singles for constructed, casual.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for the games, Rodrigo. And I should also throw in, thanks for the deck. We got into Magic Online. Rodrigo typed in the chat, your list looks familiar. And yes, I stole it unceremoniously from a Twitter post Rodrigo made about 2 weeks ago. You played this in a paper tournament, right? Made a top 8 with it, if real life vintage?
Yes, I made top 8 in Hamburg in an MKM series with this deck, and it ran pretty good.
Yeah, no, I liked it, and I wanted to keep trying to be the guy trying to make combo work. I mean, it feels like in the first set, everybody's on Leovold or Stony Silence or Null Rod, and it's like the metagame feels like it revolves around Paradoxical Outcome, but you don't actually see the Paradoxical Outcome decks showing up that much or doing that well. But I don't know, you had some success with this version. I thought I'd try this instead of the bargain side. I guess you've decided the red splash is better than the white splash, though?
Also, the end of this is that Pyroblast is just a really strong card.
No, Pyroblast is the reason to want red. And when I saw your list, I mean, Monastery Mentor is an absurd Magic card, but it may not be as good as Pyroblast right now.
Also, the premise, you have to decide between Pyroblast and Mentor, and the good thing is Mentor wins games just on its own, but I have tried to build a 5-color mana base, but didn't work pretty good. Sure. I just wanted to have all the good cards.
Yep.
Because I also like green a lot just to deal with Stony Silence.
Right, Ray of Revelation off the Tropical is a great Stony Silence answer for sure.
Yeah, also in this deck that I stole from Brian Kelly, the idea of Ray of Revelation and Cross and Grip.
Sure.
I like it a lot. The premise, if you don't play white, you cannot play a Ray of Revelation. So right now I'm playing 2 Cross and Grips. So it also helps against Oath, where Grixis is a bit weak to this, but since I have been playing both, Pyroblast and Cross and Grip, I have been beating them because nowadays they are on like 4 to 6 Planeswalkers. Sure. So just Pyroblasting all day, his Planeswalkers is pretty neat. So, and yeah, I had an interesting decision on the second game. So the first game, my first hand was just way too slow, and I needed a land.
What did you keep? You did nothing. You went turn 1. No, go. No, really, go. It's your turn.
Yeah, I had the Black Mox.
Okay.
But I have no land, and I had Demonic Tutor, Force of Will, Jarmoth Will, and yeah, I think that's it. And a blue card.
Okay.
And Dark Fiden and Hurkles. So I needed a land to Demonic Tutor for anything or get a counter out of you.
Yeah.
And I had the Force, so if I draw a land, I can just start playing. But you play Disenchant in the main deck, so I didn't want to expose my Black Mox to it. But there was really no reason. If I draw a land, I'm just gonna throw Demonic Tutor, and if you have Flusterstorm, you are gonna counter it anyway.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And the second game, I had a decision where to play or not to play the Time Vault.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I play the Time Vault, then the next turn my Paradoxical Outcome is much better. But if I don't play it, I am open to Abrade. And then you Time Vault and you play the key. So I had to force with my only business. And then everyone went downhill slowly.
Yeah, my draw was great. Absolutely great. It's funny. I forgot to side out Vamp Tutor. I don't normally like Vamp Tutor in the blue matchup. I normally sideboard it out, and I literally just missed it when I was sideboarding cards out. But it was pretty good in that spot, right? I've got the Vault, so I mean, it gives me a must counter. I pretty much knew you didn't have a misstep by then, so the key was just, well, I'm going to get a Force Will and a blue card for my Vamp Tutor and my draw step. Or I'm going to win the game. And my draws were even better than you realized. Like in the first game, I still had Yogg Will the whole time. Like, I was trying to run you out of stuff, and then if necessary, I've got the Yogg Will, but I was able to get the Tinker before I had to resort to Yogg Will. The second game, I did use every card, right? I actually top decked the misstep for your Pyroblast. Like, so my draws were great. Absolutely.
I'm sure in one position where you Snapcaster and I Pyroblast. What was your idea on Snapcastering back? like 100% paradoxical outcome, or maybe another card?
Oh, I was always on paradoxical outcome.
Because I could have or Flusterstorm or Notion Thief.
I thought you were mostly out of gas at that point. I mean, in the outcome, it's just so much more powerful there. I don't know. It may be one of the flaws. I may have a leak in my combo game that I go for the powerful plays more than I try to play around stuff. It's probably
so I think you go for the paradoxical, but if I had run into one of the Notion Thieves, the game would like be over, which was, and also the paradoxical triggers Flusterstorm, while other cards like Vamp Tutor, like just vamping for will, lets you kill me the next turn, passing through my Flusterstorm. So I'm not sure. I wanted to get rid of the.
Does it though? Like my graveyard wasn't that. So you're suggesting if I go for the Vamp Tutor, I can put Yogwill on top. I have to say go, so I have to give you a draw step, which is a pretty big cost. And then I'm what? I'm Yogwilling into the paradoxical outcome.
No, but you are Yogwill into Voltaic again.
Oh, right. Sorry, you're right.
So you have like 3 backup plans if the will resolves. You have a Ponder. No, the Ponder was later. You have Time Walk, Outcome, and Key.
Right. So, no, you're right. I did eventually. The second time I cast the Snapcaster, I did go for the Vamp Tutor for the Key. Maybe
but that's just you knew. I knew I was dead, so it was no real reason. So I could raise you with the Mana Crypt. But
right, I was like, why is he not conceding? Oh yeah, I have a Mana Crypt in play, right?
Yeah. So I can raise the Snapcaster, but I think it's if you have 4 to 5 flips at least.
Yeah.
And with this deck, I have never lost with Mana Crypt with more than 10 lives under Time Vault, because your main combo condition is Time Vault, also Paradoxical Outcome, which just resets.
Picks it up, Tinker blows it up. Yeah, I wasn't worried. I was just, yeah, okay. Interesting. I wonder if I should have snapped the Snap Vamp Yogwill to play around. Also, that does play around both Notion Thief and Flusterstorm, doesn't it?
So it depends how greedy you are. So I just had 1 card, and that just top decked. So it depends.
Yeah, so, and my intuition was that you were out of stuff and I should go for the throat rather than give you a draw step, but I'm not 100% confident in that. Yeah, it's an interesting match. I love playing the mirror with this deck. I mean, it's pretty close to the mirror because basically every other major archetype has Null Rod or Stony Silence.
Yeah.
Or like half a dozen lock pieces out of a Shops deck that aren't Null Rod, but everybody else is packing hate. In the mirror match, we just get to, like, I don't know, fight each other. All right, but enough about paradoxical outcome. Let's head down to the Shops mirror.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The battle for, we'll call it first place. Reed Duke has a claim, but he reads on 3-0. Everybody else has a loss, and these guys already have a third win to go with that loss. One of them's going to be 4-1. Let's see. Looks like TGO has priority, so Bob won the initial flip.
So, and Bob's hand is pretty good. He has like 4 mana on the first turn, including Ghost Quarter and Crucible. I didn't notice that the Crucible were in the main deck. I think Bob likes Crucible a lot as a card. Like, he has played a lot of weird combo decks with Crucible, and I think it's a card that every day it's much worser.
Yeah, Dak Faden has definitely caused Crucible to lose some of its power. The fact that the very opponent you were trying to lock with it now has one of their own is kind of a big deal.
And also the Shops mirror. Sometimes you have the Crucible lock and you just get out-raced. Yep. So I did 2 5-0s yesterday and the day before with playing Shops on MTGO, and I don't play Crucible anymore because it's just so slow in the mirror when your opponent just plays Founder Inspector something, and you just have you have no lands, but I am on a 3-turn clock.
Yeah, no, my match against Rich, I had turn 2 Tinker. Oh, his Revoker slows me down to turn 3, but I'm just dead. Like, he just killed me in 3 turns through a disenchant, basically.
Yeah, today you kill on turn 3 with shops quite a lot. The Ballista and Ravager combo is really strong.
Yeah, and Monster Golem's a lot of power. The Foundry Chief Inspector, Chief of the Foundry definitely adds to the clock.
So,
but you want to talk about Bob's dedication to Crucible of Worlds? He's got Ghost Quarters in his deck. Like, not only do people not typically play Crucible, they don't play a ton of Ghost Quarters either.
Yeah, I think he has only one Crucible, maybe. I'm checking. Yeah, he has only one Crucible. I think he's playing the version of this guy who just destroyed the last season of the online league, Heim Faxe, or like, because the list is much more or less the same, which the list most of the players are now playing with the Ghost Quartet and the Hangbar Walkers. And I think I'm not sure if this guy cut it on something to play the Crucible.
Well, I think Bob has quite the beatdown that Rich does, right? Bob doesn't have Chief of the Foundry, I don't think.
Yeah, no, Bob has 3 Hangbar Walker and Foundry Inspector and all the other shops cards and 3 Tangle Wire, which is a great or a bad card depending on the situation. But if your opponent is not playing a Precursor Golem, the Tangle Wire is really huge. People stopped playing because Precursor Golem was really strong against the Tangle Wire, but if you don't have them, then Tangle Wire is a great card, and I think this game is more or less over. I think Rich is never gonna cast a spell.
Hey, Mox Pearl's a spell. Technically correct, the best kind of correct.
So in the 5th game against Bob, I never got to cast a spell. Just sphere on sphere on sphere on thorn.
Yep.
But yeah, then in the other games, Tinker just get there.
God, Rich only has 1 Sorcerer's Spyglass.
Yeah,
you saw what he did to me with that, didn't you?
Was not gonna make blood of it, but yeah. And then at the start I didn't notice that you were playing my list, so I think, oh, maybe he's just playing 4 Flooded
Strands. My fetch lands are mixed: 2 Strand, 1 Misty, 1 Delta, 2 Tarn. Like the odds of even having 2 of a fetch lander.
Yeah, you just drew both Flooded Strands, which is I have had to split all my decks, the fetch lands, because of Spyglass. I had in a lot of decks they're like 4 and 2 or on 3 and 3, and now I have to play all different possibles just because of Spyglass.
Pretty much.
So
I didn't realize quite what a bad beat that was. But these things happen. It's interesting to see new cards coming in and having an influence.
Yeah, I was really expecting that this card was good when I saw it. So I knew it will be played. Maybe not to great success at the end, but it will be played in shops at the start. It would have been fun in your 5th game if you got to Tinker. Rich Shay had double Phyrexian Metamorph to copy your Blightsteel.
Yeah, he played the first one, and I was like, oh, that clears a path. And he played the second one, and I'm like, yeah, I was basically drawing dead here, wasn't I?
Yeah. So
it felt
you have
really
to draw into Urkel's Recall right after he copies your guys.
Right. I'm not drawing dead, but I didn't have the fast Tinker wasn't going to work without more help.
Yeah, sometimes they have it, but I think this, from the way I've played the Paradoxical Outcome deck, Game 2, also in the games against Matt, it's just a full Tinker deck.
Yeah,
I win most of my games just by tinkering Blightsteel and that all day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bob doesn't have Metamorphs either, so you're the one who still has to deal with Rich, right? I get Bob in the last 2 matches.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think you play next. I play the last one.
Right, but against Rich is my point.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy, this kind of list does not play Metamorph, which I think is a great card. But I understand if you have so many Hangbar Walkers and this kind of cards that you don't want to copy. I still think that if you are playing this deck, the Bob plays, the waste in the sideboard, it should not be a waste. Why you play a waste?
Because you can get it when you get Ghost Quartered. It's a basic.
Yeah, but why you don't play a Swamp?
For the Dismember?
Yeah, it does. So having colorless
nothing
mana
that needs colorless mana, right? None of the Eldrazi's are in this list anymore.
Yeah, even if you have Eldrazi's, what is the chance that you have the waste and not colorless mana? So,
look, it looks cooler. Come on, the waste looks way cooler.
But I think even if it looks cooler, it's just better to play a thing that lets you cast your Phyrexian mana things. So Bob has a slow start, but Lotus. If his 7th card is a mana source, his hand is great. Maybe Mishra's Workshop. And Rich has a decent hand.
What if it's a Wasteland?
Wasteland?
He only gets to 5.
I think you have...
5 is a lot less than 6 when you've got a Working Oil Engine. He is on the draw. That's a good point.
I think you have to keep it because you can do like Ravager Ballista on the turn 1 or Ravager Dismember Wasteland. And then Rich has the turn 1. I think Rich hand is too slow. I don't like to. You can Spyglass turn 1, but I think it's a quite weak play.
What are you Spyglassing in this matchup? Like the Lotus is a mana ability.
Yeah, so you have to Spyglass the Wasteland effect, which in fact does nothing because Rich has no basic. Or the Ballista. I think you have to take the Ballista in this situation, or the Ravager. I'm not sure. So next turn you can play Foundry Inspector. He plays Ravager.
I think it's Ravager or Ballista.
Yeah, it's for sure Ravager or Ballista, but
he goes Ghost Quarter.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go Wasteland since he has one of his own, but he shuts off the Ghost Quarter.
That's another Ravager. So you can.
Bob can waste Ancient Tomb here. If Rich's opener is Ancient Tomb into Spyglass, like he must have a clunky hand.
Yeah. I usually like to be quite aggressive if I have another play with my Wastelands. So if my opponent didn't put a lot of pressure on the table in the shop's mirror, I think that playing the Wasteland is pretty good.
And then do you notice out a Ravager or a Ballista? That doesn't seem very exciting. And then you're down to 1 mana for next turn. So I'm not...
I think you have to waste and just pass.
Just pass?
Yeah, so play the Lotus because he saw it, so he's going to revoke it anyway. If Rich has a Sphere or so.
I'll buy that.
So now Rich got bitten by his keep. And now you get Ravager and Ballista. And then you have Dismember backup for the next turn. But Bob still has draw mana.
You get Dismember backup if your Ghost Quarter doesn't get wasted.
Yeah. I don't think... if Rich draws a Workshop or something like that, he's going to Wasteland.
Oh, I can see Rich's hand. I don't expect him to use the Wasteland, but from Bob's perspective... it's a thing he has to worry about. I don't disagree with your play, though. I do think you sack Lotus here, and I think I like Ravager plus 1/1 Ballista better than 2/2 Ballista, or better than 2 Ravagers.
Yeah. So having double Ravager is also great because you can, if Rich has like the Dismember he plays or so, but I'm not sure on that. Maybe it's better to play double Ravager, so if it Dismember once, you can just eat it with the other, and then keep making cool tricks. Because having a 2/2 Ballista is not the most awesome thing. But it will be good in the future. It gives you the option to shoot things in the future if you don't draw lands.
It's a funky game. Feels like First guy to draw Mishra's Workshop may win.
Yeah, or Academy. Academy is quite strong also on Bob's hand next turn.
Sure.
So Bob has 5 great draws, while Rich has, Rich also has the Lotus. With the Lotus, he can also power up, so even Mana Crypt. Yeah, I think
2/2 Ballista is Bob's decision. Boundary Inspector. Where was this draw against me, Rich Shay?
You didn't wasteland his Ancient Tomb.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you can
ping the Ravager, but he almost certainly eats the Spyglass.
Workshop.
Oh, Mishra's Workshop has entered Bob's hand.
So here you can Ballista the Ravager for 1. I will Ballista, make him eat something, and then maybe dismember. And then so you can, if you dismember.
You can just play another 2/2 Ballista, ping it again, second time, have a pair of 1/1 Ballistas left over.
Yeah, but your workshop is gonna get destroyed. I want somehow that to go square to the wasteland. So I will want him to kill my Ravager. Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, that's a nice line.
Take a decision, or to trade the Ravager for the Ballista, or to lose the Spyglass.
Wow, what a spot. I love it, Bob Maher. Ask Rich, would you like to eat your Sorcerer's Spyglass, or are you going to let Ravager die to a single ping from Ballista? Rich is like, I don't really want your Ghost Quarter turned on, thank you very much. You can have my Ravager. So now he's got 4 mana, and Bob's going to make another Ballista. Rich draws yet another Foundry Inspector. Yeah, Wasteland on Ancient Tomb was everything here.
Yeah, right now here is just Rich hoping that he didn't get raised by, so that he draws a Workshop before he's dead.
Yeah, I like Rich's line. I mean, he's desperate, but I think he's correctly maximizing what odds he has.
It's a line you have to take, because if not, you are gonna die for sure if your opponent has access to Workshop. So you just gamble on that your next 2 or 3 draw steps is a Workshop.
They both continue to draw creatures. No mana. 1 mana each on turn 7 now. Crazy. But it looks like Bob's going to break serve. We're getting to the point where it's hard for Rich to come back, especially since Bob can dismember whatever blocker Rich plays.
Yeah, so anyway, next turn.
Next turn, Rich takes down to 4, which is effectively 1.
So, okay, now Rich.
Now the Ravager combo just kills him, right?
Yeah.
All right. Machine Gun assembled. Bob finally got to 2 mana again. And I assume he just finishes him off. I don't think there's anything Rich can have to break this up, right?
No, I think you have to wait. You have to wait here because he could have Dismember. Not because he has 4. So, being at 4. So, there is no out there. Yeah, you could have just go for it. I think Bob played around Dismember by not machine and gunning Rich, but yeah. Rich
he doesn't need to because the Dismember is going to cost life, so.
Yeah, so.
Whatever.
Sometimes you forget that these Phyrexian mana spells are not entirely free.
Bob Maher, ladies and gentlemen, the great one, moving up to 4-1. Definitely the best VSL start he has ever had. He's been in most of our seasons. Has he been in all the seasons? He's definitely been around for a lot. Not quite all of them, but has not had this start before. 4-1 with 1 match left to go.
Decks always helps.
It's true. Even without Force of Wills in his hand, he's managed to get that win.
Yeah, I think Shops is still strong.
Absolutely. I mean, you look, the Vintage Challenge last weekend was 2 different Workshop decks in the finals, right? The more traditional one over the Crazy Combo Workshop was the championship match.
And the And I think most of the events I have played lately have been won by shops.
Yeah, it's definitely still around, definitely still a large chunk of the metagame. I think a little healthier. I mean, I'm certainly happier with where Vintage is. And there's a little more room to brew, which has been fun to mess around in.
Yeah, they have to find the perfect shops build because you need to work on it, but I will not be surprised that that shops got another hit in the near future.
Interesting. We shall see. I'm not going to get into that conversation yet. It seems a little early. But
So
I think it is time for the last set of games. So we have 4 matches down, 2 matches still to go. Next up is going to be me against Bob. We are both 1-1 on the evening. So we'll see which one of us gets the 2-1, which one of us gets the 1-2, and then Bob and I will be in the booth for our final match when you get to take on Rich.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Need the latest Magic the Gathering singles for Constructed,